Hello and welcome back to the channel. Quite windy and you might not be able to hear me very well. Unfortunately, I'm down recording on my phone at the moment because my GoPro has gone off for repair. Fingers crossed GoPro are going to send me a replacement and get me up and running again. So we'll see how that pans out, but for now it's only on the phone. Now this time it's a bit different. It's not one of my cars, it's a friend, Matt's. So we're going to be going and taking a look at his Vauxhall Insignia 2 litre. I'm going to put the specs just after the break, and we're going to take a look at his Insignia because we've got a turbo boost problem. So there's a split in the turbo pipe, which is really common. So I don't have a lot of footage for it. I'm just going to show you the basic steps that we did to replace the pipe. It's not too bad a job, and the worst part is actually getting access to it, getting the pipe off the plastic fittings and refitting it all. So I'm also going to put a list of all the parts that I used down in the description as well, because there's a couple of tricky bits that you probably need some parts before you start and save having to have a trip out to the hardware store like we did. So here we go. Here's Matt's Insignia. So taking a look under the bonnet, A20DTH engine in this Vauxhall Insignia 2 litre, and you can see there that's the turbo pipe, quite often split at the back where you can't see it. So you can't actually see the split, but if you put your hands around the back you can generally feel it's got oily, or you can feel the split itself, which is what happened here. Onto the first part of getting access. So the lower half of the pipe you can see in the middle of the screen, and the way you get at it is by removing the lower grill around the fog light. Now you can see here I've marked up 3 of the clip positions. Using a screwdriver you can pry the left hand too. Now you can see a close-up on the clips themselves and how they are a push pop, where they'll come out when you give them a little bit of a push with a very thin screwdriver. You have to be gentle with these to make sure they don't actually snap, and also that you don't damage the bumper whilst you're doing that. So thin screwdriver or a plastic prise tool would be ideal, and you can then see how it is a kind of pull to get it away from the fog light, and then it'll start to pop off. That took a while, so take your time on that part of it. Turning our attention to the top, you can see I've undone it, and the way you do it is you get a screwdriver in and you pop part of this metal clip out. When it comes out it releases the pipe, and then you can just pull it downwards and it'll come off. That's fairly easy, which is up at the top end there. And the bottom end is a bit trickier because of the elbow. So let me show you. On the elbow itself, which is at the bottom of the screen there, you can see that there's a screw that undoes it. So you want to undo that almost all of the way. It won't completely undo, and what that does is it releases the bottom clamp. Now that clamp is made of 2 pieces of metal. The other one has 2 lips that hold it in place. So the best is to undo that screw and then spin it so that you can then release the clamp from the pipe, and those are 2 plastic pipes to undo and separate. You can see the split in the hose quite easily now we've got it off, but you can see how difficult that would be to spot, and this was at the back of the pipe. Every one that I've replaced, actually, I think I've done a couple of these, the split is always at the back where you cannot see it. So just to be aware, that's how they do fail, and that split there causes a turbo boost problem. And now onto the second issue, that clamp that's in the middle there that holds the pipe onto the plastic U-bend is really difficult to take off, and you're generally not going to get it back on again fairly easily. So I would recommend to get this off, what we did is you squeeze together the two sides and then it should come apart. You'll also find you probably have to prise it at where I've got the arrow pointed to almost bend the metal and get it to break apart, and it'll come off and it won't be too damaged, but the force needed to put it back on again, I would recommend giving up with that and going with something like some Jubilee clips to hold it in place for the replacement. What you want to do is use a Jubilee clamp, which is around about 75mm. I think we couldn't get hold of any larger than 70 on the day, so we ended up using 2 clamped together, but they're on nice and tight, so it should avoid any boost leak or anything like that. And you can see we've got it clamped up nice and tightly, so that should hold together. Once it's all back together, you can see that's just a push clip. You just push the pipe up the top and it clips back into place, and there's our clamp at the bottom. And what we then did is we went to go using my iCar Soft to read the previous fault codes that were sat there and clear them out, so that we were, before we started it, so that we were starting from a fresh start. We've got one fault on the ECM, going in to take a look at what code that is to read it first, and you can see it's a MAF P2282. The problem with the turbo boost pipe splitting is it can throw an awful lot of different codes out, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to what codes you've got stored, but you want to go in and clear them out. So erase the codes. And at that point the engine mill light should also have gone off, and you can then go ahead and start the car up. And after a start up and a drive round, we weren't getting the engine mill light coming back on again. It was also quite a lot more responsive as well. We could feel the turbo kicking in a bit better and actually giving some boost. Now we did have an issue where it did drop into limp mode once again. Now we think this might be to do with the engine relearning, because if the boost pipe has been damaged for a while, the engine may have relearned and actually be using the poorer performance. After a second set of clearing, it does seem to be better and holding up now, and the turbo is running nicely as well. So hopefully that has resolved our issues. If we do get any more, I'll put some comments down the bottom and see if we can diagnose it any further. But otherwise, it was running great on our test run. And there you go. That's how to change the turbo intercooler pipe on a Vauxhall Insignia. I hope this video has been useful to you. If it has, pop a like down the bottom and a subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. More coming up very, very soon indeed. We've got quite a lot loaded up, so I'll see you next time.